What's going on? It's your boy Masta B here live from the MMB Radio Studios for the MMB Radio Podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all. And on the phone lines, I want to welcome in a woman who has done so much in the adult industry. She hasn't done everything yet. And we're going to find out about that tonight. Let's welcome in Miss Alexis Fawx. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Up there in PA, huh?
Yes, right outside Philly. And we're going to talk about that. I mean, the weather here is pretty shitty right now, but, you know, it's par for the course during the winter months here. And we're going to talk about that because you have ties to the Pennsylvania area. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk about a bunch of other projects you got going on. And we got people tweeting in questions. So are you ready to rock and roll tonight?
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Let's hit it up. Let's go.
All right, cool. So, first things first, like I mentioned, you have been in the adult industry for quite some time now, right?
Yeah, I have actually. I've been in for, it's going to be 9 years in July.
Now, that's relatively a pretty long time for most people. I mean, what is like the average, amount of time that people usually spend in the business?
Well, like, if you're looking at it as a business and you treat it as a business, you're going to have longevity in this career. You have people that have been in for 17, 18, 20 years. I mean, look at Julianne, look at Nina Hartley. She's still performing, you know what I mean? So you can have longevity. What the average is, I think, for, like, new women coming into the industry, it could be anywhere from 6 months to a year, or they might do it for 3 to 4 years, decide they want to do something else for a little while, and then they go back, and, it just depends on the individual itself.
Now you've had like an interesting way and path towards getting into the adult industry. So you originally were in the service, correct?
Yeah, I used to be in the Air Force. Went to college while I was in the Air Force. Got out of the Air Force, graduated college with a degree in physiological psychology, specialization in neuroanatomy. Moved down to Florida, became a paralegal, among other little jobs I had, and then I hauled off and quit all that, and decided to go in sport.
I mean, it seems like the natural path, you know what I mean? Air Force, paralegal, porn, just kind of an easy transition. And
as I look at it, I've been fucked for a long time, and now I'm just getting paid for it.
Yeah. This is very true. I mean, the current state of affairs of this country right now, a lot of us are feeling like we're getting fucked every day, and we're not getting paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to pay for it now.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's funny
and
you say
the dicks are bigger, so.
Yeah. And it's funny you say you were in the Air Force, because I feel like everybody that I've ever known, every woman that I've ever known who's been in the Air Force have been like closet freaks. And what is it with the Air Force? Like, I mean, is there something about the Air Force?
I don't know about closet freaks or anything like that, but I mean, if you think about it, it's women that maybe are in the military or the Air Force or something like that, most of the time are more confident. There's also more men than women, on these bases. You can kind of hold your sexual ground, I guess. I don't know, like.
Like the scripts write themselves on these bases. There's more guys than women, and it's, sexual tension.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. I mean, you're kind of like a tight-knit, group. You're under stress. You're under normal, like everybody's going through the same shit that you are. You kind of bond with people, so sex happens. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I definitely think I did more crazier stuff in the military and the dorms than I do now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now you grew up, like I said, in Pennsylvania? Where in the Pennsylvania area were you from?
Just a small little town. It's about 3 hours from Philly, 3 hours from Pitt. Still have family there and stuff like that. And I don't go home very often because it's such a small town, and I just never felt like home, really. Miami felt more like home to me than what Pennsylvania ever did.
Now, when you were growing up, I mean, obviously went into the Air Force. Like, what were your aspirations to, become something in life? Did you, always kind of want to do the service thing, or did it just kind of just happen?
I think a lot of my life just kind of happened. I kind of allowed things just to kind of happen or take the opportunity to do so. I grew up in a small little town. There wasn't anything in my small town. I actually being like 12 and thinking, God, if I stay in this small town, I'm going to die a miserable death. Now, I don't mean anything bad about that. It's just, for some people, small towns work great. And thank God for those people, because we need those people in small towns. For other people, small towns is not going to be enough for them. And so, therefore, I know if I would have stayed in that type of environment, I probably would have done a lot more. I probably would have done some bad shit. Who knows? Whatever. Who knows? I didn't take that path. So who knows what that would have ended up or looked like. I've just always been able to say yes to things and, make it work in some way or another and live an extraordinary life. And that's what, life should be, ups and downs. It hasn't always been perfect. Definitely been through some shit in my life. But, if I didn't go through the shit, I wouldn't be who I was today. I think you absolutely have to go through shit. You have to fail. You have to make mistakes and things of that nature, just so that you can learn about yourself in a much deeper way and learn what to do and what doesn't work. And I mean, how else are you planning to do anything if you don't learn? And you don't learn by always having things handed to you. So
it builds character.
Yeah, it really does. And it makes you appreciate things and realize, I have a lot of bullshit stuff now, and I appreciate and I love every little thing I have. And I'm still kind of minimalist, because I kind of live a minimalist lifestyle. But I could walk away from this and live a much simpler life on a farm. I'm totally happy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny though.
I'm an outdoorsy girl, and that's one thing I do love about Pennsylvania, and I miss is the hiking in the mountains and stuff like that. But now I've got hiking in mountains here in Vegas. I traded in the mountains for the ocean in Miami and stuff like that. I just always had a zest to see more, to do more. There's just so much of this world that I have not even seen yet that I'm dying to see, dying to do, experience, and stuff like that. So,
and it's crazy because in both occupations, you could probably say, you'd experience that. If you're in the Air Force or in the service, you get to experience the world. You get to experience things you probably never would imagine experiencing. And the same could probably be said about the adult industry. You're going to experience some stuff that you probably never thought you were ever going to experience before.
Oh, most definitely. I'd definitely say my favorite ride of my life has been my favorite ride of my life has definitely happened later in life. I think in my 20s, I didn't know what to do with all the creative energy I had floating around in my body. I didn't know what to do with all the energy I have, kinetically, And so when you're like that, you're in a search to find your place and what you are and who you are and stuff like that in your 20s. It's a fucked up time. So, I went in the military, I drank, I went down to Miami, party a couple years in Miami, had a good time. Those were the 20s. 30s, you start to taper it off, or you just get really crazier with your party. I don't know what, my 30s was fucked up too, but it was an interesting 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody has interesting lives, you know what I mean? It definitely was an interesting one where I started out my 30s one way and definitely ended in a whole nother way. It was really interesting now that I think about it.
I'm curious to find out how someone goes from being in the service to being a paralegal to doing porn. How does that, obviously you had to have some interest in it.
You answer Craigslist ad. That's how simple that was. No, what it is that, number one, I've always been a freedom type of girl. I'm one of those, I'm a hippie, tomboy, outdoorsy fucking chick, right? That's living an extraordinary life. So take all those elements. I'm outgoing. I'm sexually free. I'm not allowed to hold shit hold me down. I don't put a label on me. I'm not gay, bi, whatever. Hey, I like chicks. I like guys. If you're cool, you're cool. If you're not, you're not. That's, whatever. I'm going to be more attracted to the essence of the person than, whether or not they have certain body parts. I don't really thought about that. You know what I mean? People can be so pretty on the outside, but they can be one ugly motherfucker, and that to me is, what I don't want to be around. You know what I mean? You're not worth a fuck for me. So I just always been able to say yes to opportunity. I'm not the person that some people need to have structure, and living a corporate life is what they need and they want. Gives them the health insurance, gives them whatever fucking fake stability that they think they have, whatever, blah, 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 blah. They don't know what it's like to work for their own dream. Maybe they don't have dreams. I don't fucking know. Me, it was like being captive. I was feeling like an animal in a zoo. I had to quit. So I went off and I quit everything, and I took some time off, and whenever it was time to get a job, I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do now? I definitely don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to put that time in for somebody else to make somebody else rich. If I'm going to put that much time into anything, I'm going to do it for myself. So how do I do that? Well, you answer Craigslist that, because that's the thing there. And I went down there with used to be someone clapping in the audience, not to be a performer. But they go through the laundry list, and I'm like, yeah, I suck dick. Fuck, I did that shit for free, and I could get paid for it? Yeah, I'll do it. Like, who cares? And that's all, like, I didn't even think about it much more than that. Like, yeah, suck. Yeah, I've been told I'm good. I'll suck the fuck out of this dick. Like, like, it was just a yes. It wasn't like, I didn't sit there and think about it. Oh, my God, what my parents? I was already an adult. Like, I don't give a, like, come on. Like, your parents, what are your parents? Cause I hate when I get that question. Well, where did your parents? I don't know. I was an adult when I joined. I was in my 30s. What do you think my fucking parents thought? Yeah. You know, like, it's not, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I make my own decisions. So, it was just, that's how that happened. You know, I got tired of living working for somebody else's dream, living that rat race. Someone telling me I had to work from 9 to 5 bullshit where you're always working overtime, always doing this. You can never do enough. Da-da-da-da. I was begging for 2 weeks off for vacation. Suck my dick. I work hard. Like, no. So if I'm going to work that hard, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to work for my own brands. I'm going to start new companies. Since then, I have built a brand. So with this brand, now I produce and host a comedy show. I have a coffee that I'm launching. I am working on a women's line. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's never ending. And I'm shooting my own content.
Which is all awesome. And
yeah,
but the thing I want to know is like, so this Craigslist ad, did you go looking for ad, or did the ad just like that's where I'm curious, is like, how did it just happen?
Well, this is back in the day when Craigslist was, I guess, okay to use, I don't know, and I was looking for a job, and it said, hey, cash, go boom, one of those type of deals, you know, come down here, make $150 clapping for Dancing Bear, and I was like, I was porn, I know what that is, fuck yeah, I'll go down and watch people have sex, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just that type of person. I've always been that type of person.
So you weren't looking for that field. It just so happened.
No, not at all. I literally fell into it. I literally fell into it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to search and be a porn star and all that. No. I've been watching porn for a really long time. I like sex, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I've been over to Amsterdam. I've been to live sex shows. I'm a little bit of a freak like that. I don't give a fuck. Like, to me, it really wasn't a big deal. You just go down and do it.
When you started getting to this again in your 30s, kind of like you already had like this concrete like decision about, this is what I want out of life, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to get paid, this is, you know, how I'm going to tackle this. And I find a lot of these young girls that get into the business are like the complete opposite. You know what I mean? Like real young, have no fucking clue what they're getting into. If one of these young girls is listening, is thinking about getting into it, what's something that you would give them advice-wise?
My advice to any young lady that wants to join into the pornography business, which I do love, I love my industry. I love what I've been able to do with it, okay? And everybody's journey is different. But what I can highly suggest is, ladies, get to know the women that are up to mentoring, like someone like myself that can teach you, you know, open up a business name. Get referrals for tax attorneys. Learn how to treat this as a business. What are your goals? Get with someone that's been in the business that is successful and is well, you know, and well received, and learn from her. They're going to teach you a hell of a lot more than what most agents are. Agents aren't going to sit with every girl and say, okay, honey, you know, this could be your business. You want to open up an LLC under some like generic fucking name so your bank doesn't close you down because banks are like go on religious morals and they think that's okay and blah, blah, blah. You know, like no one teaches that. Or hygiene. You know, a lot of these girls have male agents. I'm very outspoken but I've grown into this outspoken person. When I was 18, I don't know if I would be able to go to a 30 or 40-year-old and be like, yeah, I think there's something wrong with my vagina. It itches, or it smells funny, or it stings, or what is this bump? You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot of like questions that I feel some of these young girls are never asking, or don't even know to ask, which is the scary thing.
I don't know. I don't know if they know like the questions to ask, but I think like, working with someone that's older than you, that's been in the industry for 9, 10, 15, 20 years. I ask questions from Julianne. I ask questions from people that have been in the industry and that have success than me, whether they're older or younger, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But, to me, like, that's who you're going to learn this stuff from, is from the other women that are in this. Maybe it's because, I don't know. But, yeah, my suggestion is to ask questions, to not be, because if something happens and if you are, you don't like confrontation and you don't know how to speak up or you don't know how to say something, I do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And I think that's why a lot of people,
for the younger ladies to get with the older women.
And I think that's why a lot of fans gravitate to you, because you have this, like, no fucks given type attitude. And, not to say that, like, in a negative way, like, that's obviously, like, I mean that in the most, compliment way.
Well, let's define that. Yeah, I have a no fucks attitude, but this is what a no fucks attitude is. I don't give a fuck about shit that doesn't really matter. I give all my fucks towards things that do matter and that I really are going to make a difference in my life and other people's lives. That's what I care about. A lot of the stuff that people fucking dilly-dally around, Twitter stuff, Instagram bullshit, blah, 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 it doesn't matter when you come to the end of it. It's talking about, that's just going to come with age and experience and stuff like that. But, read the book, The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, and that's what it's going to teach you.
I have seen people post that, and I want to get it so bad and read it.
I have 2 of them, actually. I give them out. I'm like, here's that one and 4 agreements. Read them both. Come back to me later. Yeah. I think reading is important. Yeah, I think more people should read. I don't think people are reading enough. But yeah, I think that's my advice to the younger ladies is definitely, talk to us older ladies that we've been around. And I mean, like, older is our age. I mean, just been in the business. I mean, there's people that I say older that are younger than me that's just been in the business longer than me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Stings. Yeah, definitely.
Experience will speak volumes. I mean, I've worked with young girls, being I play the MILF. I work with, they play on the older, younger. Mm-hmm. Some of these girls, they might have not have had a mom to teach them to douche. My mom never taught me to douche. I know what the fuck. I was like, what the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. So the first time I ever douched, for a scene, I used to fucking water it, and you're getting a raging yeast infection. It's like horrible. It's like, oh my God, like this is the worst thing ever. How do you use it? Oh, you pour the water out. No one fucking told me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get it. I think like the closest, you get like, not every agency is like has porn sisters, people you can really rely on and stuff like that. But, if you're a young girl and you seem a little lost or you have questions about it, get with someone that's been around and has success and that is willing to be honest and tell you the truth.
Now, one of the things that I really wanted to touch on, because I know a couple years ago you did the movie for Wicked Pictures, The Preacher's Daughter. And you got a lot of acclaim for that because of your versatility and your acting ability. Have you ever thought about crossing over and doing mainstream stuff, or,
Oh, I would love to. I mean, when the opportunities present itself, I definitely would love to. I think it's like where the comedy and the coffee and going into different realms like that kind of starts putting your foot more in the mainstream. But I love the acting part. If I could do more of that, that'd be fun. Because it's really fun to be able to like create like really. I love diving into the character and feeling how that person feels, or at least I don't know. Like, I love to read, so when I read, I'm playing like this whole cool imaginative like story. I put myself into the character's character. Like, I don't know. I get it. If it's a good book, I get into it. I also read a lot of stuff that's on educational stuff, so I don't want to nerd you out.
No. I mean, it's crazy because we've gotten a lot of questions on Twitter. So everybody who sent me DMs on Twitter and Instagram and emailed me. I mean, it's crazy. Like when we just put it out there that you were going to be on the show, like the response was just like fucking ridiculous. Like how many people were like flooding in with questions. I mean, we obviously get a lot of questions anytime we have a guest on, and it's usually a lot of the same questions that we always get. And it's probably the same questions you've probably answered a million times over. But we actually have some pretty, like, real, like, questions here. Like, people really follow your career and, know that you are active in certain things and want to know details. So,
okay, cool.
You ready to answer some of these questions from these fans?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So, one of the fans knows that you're doing this coffee thing, and you mentioned it. So, kind of give us the details of what this coffee thing is all about, and how did you choose coffee?
So how did I do the coffee deal, and why did I choose coffee? Okay, well, I've just gotten to a point in my life where I want to take the passion, like I said earlier, I'm just taking the passion, maybe I haven't said it earlier, maybe my mind's just like crazy. I'm just trying to just gotten to this point where I'm just trying to take my passions and my dreams and things of that nature and making them come true or making them work for me. So I don't really ever feel like I'm working. I'm just working with things that I really love, coffee being one of them, cannabis being the other. So how coffee came about? Well, people knowing I love coffee, knowing that I go on vacations, I visit coffee plantations. Somehow I connected with this distributing company in Massachusetts called Currency Coffee, and they would send me a bunch of their coffee. It's really good, blah, 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 blah. And on Sunday morning, I like to roll a joint, smoke a joint, drink a cup of coffee. Yeah, exactly. You think I would have had a joint before this, and I haven't.
I probably should have allowed you to do that.
I should have. I'm much better if I smoke, to be honest.
We're open to every idea here on MMB Radio, so,
Yeah, I'll probably light up as this goes on.
That works for us.
But anyway, so it was a Sunday, smoking a joint, drinking my coffee, feeling good. I believe I was smoking Sunday Driver. And it dawned on me. I'm like, I should have my own fucking coffee. Let me call this guy. So I just called him, and I was like, dude, I should have my own coffee. Hi, whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, I want to call it High AF Coffee. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, High AF Coffee. And it's like high altitude for coffee, where it also hides Alexis Fawx, because being what I do for a living, it also comes with a stigma from people, and people will not buy on a stigma. I'm going to kind of get away from that. It also plays on later on. You can also, put your infused MCT oil, make it higher, smoke a joint with it. It's all part of that lifestyle. So that's where High AF Coffee came from me smoking a joint on Sunday morning, having a cup of coffee.
I think that's totally awesome, because you see so many of these girls, and nothing that there's anything wrong with it, but a lot of these girls are all about selling, sex toys and sleeves, and, they're branding themselves and marketing themselves in, that field. And then you just come out of left field and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do coffee. And it's just like, everybody else is trying to sell me a sleeve for a dildo, and you're selling me coffee.
I'm going to call it High AF Coffee. And the great thing about it is I'm a cannabis advocate. I love cannabis. I've been using it for over 30 years, whatever. And obviously now how I use it is completely different now. When you're younger, you're like, oh, yeah, way. But whatever. So, now I have Highest Fawx. So Highest Fawx is a comedy variety show that's cannabis-friendly that I produce in LA. And I'm just, that's just everyone. So it's all kind of coming together, kind of using that whole High AF, keeping it kind of under that tone, and just using coffee and cannabis together. Like our last show, I just gave out a lot of samples of my coffee along with made like a wake and bake bag. So they basically got a bunch of joints and weed and stuff like that for free. And then I put my coffee on there for free so they can wake and bake.
Now, is this something you can sell, or how do you...
Wake and bake bag?
Yeah.
I don't sell those bags or anything like that. We just have a consumption to use deal with the club and everything like that. So nothing is for sale. I just get sponsors that want to, they bring me pre-rolls or whatever free. It's nothing for sale. Or people bring their own shit, whatever. Sometimes people want me to try it so then I can post about it. So sometimes, I get a bunch of stuff.
Now, as far as
when I get a bunch of stuff, I usually just give it out to other friends and stuff. I might not use a particular product. I don't usually always vape so much. So I know friends that do vape, and some just like CBD. So I end up getting a bunch of CBD vapes. Hey, try these. Let me know if you like them. Da 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 da. Because then they can get a good gauge on it. It's something they use all the time. And cannabis to me has just been great. I don't take any prescriptions. I don't drink. I just drink my coffee and smoke my weed. And keep to myself pretty much.
But the coffee you sell, and is that like something like the coffee is something you sell, or?
Yeah, so the coffee review is something I sell. It's going to have a website. We're just finishing up we got to do some lifestyle pictures and stuff like that. Get that on the website so it's fully launched. I mean, I think it's up and it is running. I just think it needs to be a little prettier. And in the meantime, I'm giving the coffee out to like other influencers, people in my industry, comics, musicians, people that I know. And then I also being in the cannabis industry and just kind of having that influence in that, going over to Barcelona and Amsterdam and then just talking to a few people that own cannabis lounges over there, whether they're membership or just whatever, and getting my coffee in those cafes over in Europe. So that's the next step.
That's awesome. Like, that's like, I mean, to sit here and be able to say that I'm, talking to you about this project and watching it step by step, become this big thing is like pretty wild. So much success.
Yeah,
for that.
It's been working on it, and like you can take this anywhere. Like eventually, maybe once the coffee gets up and ground, maybe I do a high AF coffee cafe, and so that cafe, you maybe have it next to a dispensary, or you have a connection with a dispensary where we have the license to consume, and you go in, you can have a cup of coffee, you have a joint. Maybe that's where I start doing my comedy show on a weekly basis. It's like. There's so much I could do with this. And it's now that you get the following, now that you get the backing, now that you get the fan base that want to support you, the right way. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I mean, I did come out with my own toy. I do have my own toy for Porn Star series and stuff like that. But the coffee is something that I created.
That's something that I
know what I mean?
I've never heard that one before. So, I mean, to be going outside the box and doing something like that, like, again, is just really cool, really awesome that you're doing something that nobody else has really thought of.
Well, and that's with the comedy show, too. To have a cannabis-friendly comedy variety show is, really, honestly, in the United States, I don't really know that many people that have that yet, other than me. I mean, I'm sure it happens. I think there's a couple other shows that's running. I haven't been to it yet, but that's still a fairly new thing too. So, get it in there while you can. It involves entertainment, involves creativity, involves getting high, involves coffee, involves it all.
So when you do this Alexis Fawx comedy show, what can people expect when they go into it? Like, is it a cannabis-based comedy? Is it just, everyday comedy?
It's a lot of fun. We do it about every 6 weeks. Doors open or session opens about an hour before the show starts. I have all types of comedians there. Really, last show we had Jim Schubert. We've had Drew Lynch. I've had Jamie Kennedy, Richard Reese. We also have our wing comics like Abdullah Shahid. You might have seen him on the current season of High Maintenance or Bon Appetit. Rachel Woodson is another weed. We had Michael Glazer. He's a podcast for Grub. And, so it's just continuing to get bigger and better. Joe Del Rusa, he's fucking hilarious. Cisco. So I'm really going to be making great connections with some really amazing comics that people see on it's so wow. I'm so wow, is this happening? Because I'm booking people that are on Comedy Central that have their own show that, it's pretty interesting. Pretty fun.
Well, I can totally relate to that because when I was told I had the opportunity to have you on the podcast, it was like a total mind fuck for me. Being someone who has been a fan of your work for so long and that be having you on the podcast, it's just, like I said, it was a mind fuck to me. So I could definitely relate to, you have to stop and say to yourself, really? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
And then one of the fans...
Crazy,
One of the fans was asking, do you have any plans to take the show on the road? Now, I know you mentioned about doing coffee, cafe,
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to take the show on the road and stuff like that. But what needs to happen then is I need places to consume. And right now, I just have, that's kind of limited across the United States because it's not all federally regulated. It's state by state. So, as I just put on my post today, is, basically, if you want me to come to the city, you got to connect me with people that have a place where we can consume the cannabis, because that's the whole show. I can't just have Alexis Fawx and not be able to have cannabis there.
That's just as fuck.
Doesn't work.
There's no high.
Yeah. There's no high in it. You know, and the place that we have is that, you know, you can smoke the flower on the outside and then you can vape on the inside, which is really cool that they allow us to do that. So, I mean, my alternate, like, would be able to have a venue that allows you to, you know, puff on your joint right there. But, you know, it is what it is. People have rules. People have rules.
Now, I know you're such a big advocate for, you know, cannabis and everything. What made you become like a mission for you to, you know, talk about this? Now, you have people that are, you know, totally for it, you know, for recreational and medical reasons, and you got other people that are totally, like, against it. So what are you
I think
trying
if you're
to
against it, you're just not educated.
Mm-hmm.
If you're against cannabis becoming legal or actually helping other people out, then you're probably just not educated enough. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's kind of what drives me, is that I feel like more people need to be educated, because I did my own little, you know, small experiment of myself. I'm like, okay, my, you know, building this in my head doesn't really help me with sleep anxiety and all this other shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so when I went in to get what I like to say, my tires rotated out, AKA just had my breast redone, in 2016. December of 2016. And I went in, and I don't take, like I said, I don't take any drugs. I don't drink. I eat pretty clean. Oh, lately I'm eating like shit just because I'm trying to gain weight. But like, whatever. I'm pretty clean. Coffee would probably is the only stimulant that I put in my body. And I go in, and of course, you know, they give you anesthesia and knock you out, and then they give you the opiates and everything like that. And, you know, all in all, I'm a pretty happy person. And I love to fill the air with laughter. And I'm a pretty happy person most of the time. But, man, those drugs literally made me depressed. It made me basically felt suicidal. I hated my face. I hated my body. I was just like, oh, my God, what did I do? I mutilated myself. I mean, taking these drugs, like, because I wasn't doing any cannabis, I was like, let me do this with no cannabis. Let me see what happens. And it was awful. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I wasn't shitting. I wasn't doing anything. Like, my body was just like, what the fuck? Like, I think my body, it kind of took my body by shock. And the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, how do people take this for fucking fun? Where's the fun in this? I feel like crap. You know what I mean? So I was like, enough of this shit. Enough of this social little personal experiment. I'm going to go back to cannabis. And all in all, what I also discovered is it wasn't like even the pain was that bad. It's just that you're told that you have to take it because of the pain. And if we were just, these doctors were like, you know, you can mentally make it through the pain, take some CBD when you need to, I would have been fine. It would have been a hell of a lot healthier and better than being handed all these opiates and like, oh, just keep taking them. I could have gotten refills easily. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's just crazy to me. Like, it really, really put me down. And so I stopped taking the opiates. I went into my indica edibles. I knew exactly what I needed to do because I do know, I'm a little educated in the weed and you know, what the different effects of different things. And I immediately started feeling better emotionally and mentally. And once you start feeling better emotionally and mentally, physical follows. You can be physically fit all you want, but if you're not emotionally and mentally right, you're going to feel like shit. You know, so, yeah, so it works. It works for pain. It works for sleep. It works for appetite. It works for PTSD. It works for, I mean, you got to look at what strain you're smoking, the terpenes in it, everything. It's a very scientific thing. It's scientific if you really break it down and start educating yourself on it. So I highly suggest putting down the pills and picking up a plant. But read about it. Don't just, you know, read about it, find out. If you don't know, ask someone who's educated in it. I still ask questions. I'm always looking things up. There's always things to learn. And find out what is the best. If you're real heady, then maybe getting something super sativa or higher, and you know, a hybrid sativa might not be the choice for you. You might need to go on more of the indica side or go more hybrid side. You know, like just different things. And that's really basic. I mean, you could get into the terpenes of like, I was dabbing stuff that was like suppressing my appetite. I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? It just took me educating myself on that particular terpene. Like, okay, what am I smoking and how is it really affecting me? I mean, it's something that can be really just prescribed. I also agree with it recreationally. I go out, I have a joint, I'm perfectly fine. I'm having a great fucking time. I go home, I wake up, I have no hangover. No big fucking deal. Go out to a concert, smoke a joint, no big deal. It's not bothering anybody. I've been to plenty of bars and seen plenty of people drunk. I can't even stand being around drunk people. It's like that vibration that they put off. It's not healthy.
Well, I mean, I'm taking all this information in.
Think about it. I mean, alcohol turns into a poison in your body. So there's literally, we have that's legal. It's totally legal. Yes, it's hot. I think it was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a beer. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine, any of that stuff. But I'm just saying, comparably, you people, federal government would rather have marijuana on a fucking Schedule 1 and you got cocaine Schedule 2. I don't know. Cocaine alcohol is only fun when you're doing hard drugs. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean,
you laugh because you know it's true.
Yeah, I mean, in your own personal opinion, why do you feel it's been such an issue to have it legalized everywhere? Like you mentioned, alcohol is legal.
Well, when you've got when you've got the pharmaceutical companies pumping billions of dollars to suppress it, that's why. It's not people. If this country was really ran by its people, we'd be smoking weed. It's been illegal a long time ago. Think about it. I don't trust the fucking FDA anyway. It's like whoever has the biggest pockets, whoever can put money in to get the testing done that they want done. One thing I learned in the degree that I picked up while I was in college in doing behavioral statistics, you can build a study to come out with any outcome you want. Look at Marlboro cigarettes. Oh yeah, their cigarettes were healthy. You had, at one time between 1930s and 1950s, doctors were recommending it as a health thing. Oh yeah, smoke a cigarette and run, it's great for you, blah, 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 blah. Oh, now it's a fucking killer, right? Still legal, but it's a fucking killer. Now just think about that. You got cannabis that we can't just take across state lines, pick up a prescription in any fucking state, blah, 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 blah. I mean, think about it. Any other medication, I can't go with, I don't have a med card. Like, obviously, Colorado's recreational, so I could go into there. But let's say Arizona. And Arizona's not rec yet. It's just medical. Well, what if I needed a joint? What if I I couldn't sleep? What if I needed to eat? What if I was having an anxiety attack? What if my muscles ached? Blah, 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 blah. I can't go in and get that prescription. But if I was on opiates, I could go to CVS to do it. At any place.
Well, you think there would be money to be made in, legalization, but I guess there's more money to be made suppressing it than there is legalizing it, or so it may seem.
This country's built on to keeping people sick. Pharmaceuticals don't want you healthy. Insurance companies don't want you healthy. If that was the case, they were doing a hell of a lot more pushing preventative health care. Teaching people how to eat healthier, teaching people exercise, teaching people they'd be doing a lot more if you do anything that's, if you take any blood test that may predict that you're going to have a certain thing or this or that, insurance companies will not insure you. Or you're going to have a higher premium because you have a test that proves something was wrong.
So
they want you sick.
So when are you throwing your name into 2020 bid?
What do you mean?
I mean, it seems like
I'm not narcissistic or crazy enough to be a president. If that's what you mean.
I mean, it doesn't seem like you have to be that crazy.
You got to be pretty insane and narcissistic to do some of that.
Well, yeah, this is very true. Depending, what side of the aisle you represent.
I think it's all. I don't even think it's too solid. I think it's all I don't know how to say it. It's like. I think politicians should wear fucking jackets like NASCAR so I know exactly who got their fucking ass so I know who I'm voting for. Because that's who you're voting for. You're not voting for that person and their ideals. You're voting for all their ideals because they were bought by lobbyists and this person and that person. Put a cap on that shit. Hey, you know what? You get what teachers are getting paid per year. That's what you can spend on your election. Good luck, motherfucker. Get a plane ride on that.
Well, you have the CEO of Starbucks running. And, I mean, you've already got, a coffee thing going, and you've already, kind of figured out this whole healthcare thing with cannabis. I mean, you're ahead of the curve on most people.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I know that's no interest in doing it. I'm going to disappear in some fucking small island and not talk to people after a couple of years. Just get on my legacy, tell the rest.
Now, I'm looking at some of these talking points that Tanya sent over to you, and I always got to shout out Tanya in every podcast because she's fucking amazing.
She's the best. I love her to death.
She's just amazing with always hooking us up. And it was funny, and I didn't even realize it. So you had the recent showcase you did, Alexis, which showcased your first anal, girl anal, interracial anal, and DP. And as I started off the podcast, like you've done so much in this business. And to come to find out that, like, a lot of this stuff is, like, your first evers. Would take us kind of through that emotional moment. Were you excited, nervous, or is it just smoke a joint another day at the job?
No, it's super exciting. I was just like, what am I holding off? What is this whole big thing? I guess, let's go ahead and do it. And, when I first got into business, people were still holding off to do anal. People were holding off to do that. People were holding off to do this and that, right? And it's just not that way anymore. I think it's getting a bit more away from that, and stuff like that. And it was just like no reason to wait. And I was shopping around, get the right money and get the right director. And I love Mason, and working for a woman director is always great. Yeah, but kind of like how I started in the industry, how I went into the military. I just said yes. I just said yes to things versus sitting around outweighing all the pros and cons and allowing opportunity to pass you by. Sometimes you just got to say yes. It's really driven my whole entire life. I didn't discover that until I was in an interview and talking about it. I was like, oh shit, I just literally just say yes to things and figure out the rest later. And it's just been really interesting that way. It's shaped a lot of, I've had a kind of extraordinary. It's definitely been an interesting way of life. Because, let me tell you, if I didn't say yes to the military, if I would have waited down, what if I would have stayed in my hometown? If I didn't say yes to college and just do it and say yes and, okay, I'm going to do it and commit myself to it, and whether I like it or not, I'm going to commit it, and I did. Mm-hmm. And then, going full force into the industry and not knowing exactly where everything was going to be, it's just been kind of fun. What can I say?
A couple other fans are asking, and one of them says, is there any male performers that you haven't shot a scene with that you still would like to shoot with? Guy or girl, is there anyone that you're like, you know what, I really dig this person's style or creativity or, their look that you really want to still shoot with?
Well, I did get an opportunity. I just finished my first all-girl showcase. It's going to be called, I believe it's Alexis Loves Girls. And in that showcase, I picked all women that I've never worked with before that I wanted to work with. So I got to work with Katrina Jade, Whitney Wright, Angela White, Anna Fawx, and, oh my gosh. And, sorry, I'm running around doing a bunch of other stuff. What did I come down here for?
You might want to light that up now.
And Adria Fox. I know, that's what I need to do. My head's going in 5 different directions.
You need to just sit down and just spark one up.
I know, right? Oh, I mentioned I had to get a knife to open a box. Yeah, so Adria Fox, Angela White, Anna Fawx, and Katrina Jade and Whitney Wright were all in my showcase. So it was really cool to work with all those ladies, and let me tell you, they blew my mind. So that was really, really cool. I probably want to work with probably more females than men. There's only so many men in the industry. I think I've worked with all of them that I want to work with. I think so. I don't know. I have to really sit down and try to pay attention more to the women than the men. That makes sense. Take out
that legal pad there and just start writing names. Like, okay, who do I work with and who do I don't want? And one of the other things that someone tweeted in, which is a really funny question, and it's always fun to hear these type of answers. What's the most embarrassing moment you've ever had on set? If that's ever happened.
Most embarrassing moment on set?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough because I kind of feel like nothing really phases you. You know what I mean?
No, nothing really phases me. I mean, because Yeah, I mean, I
or
don't
a
know.
funny incident
Nothing
that's
really
happened that, you know, just wasn't planned.
You know what? I wish people would stop asking that question and actually, like, what was your most favorite parts on set? Because, like, I really don't have, like, I don't
You
really
can answer
have...
that question, too. Oh.
Some of my favorite things on set, you know, like, God, I just love it when I get to work with other women and really get to slow everything down and be sensual. And I love the acting part. I love it when you get into characters and you get to work with some of your, you know, friends in the industry and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff. Now I'm like, I don't even know of any, like, really embarrassing things.
So take us through, like, a normal day for you on set. Like, how do you prepare for every day on set? Like, because most people think you just show up and you just fuck, and that's obviously not the case.
No.
Contrary to popular belief.
You know, I mean, it just depends. If you're doing anal and you want to wake up a little earlier and prepare for that, your enema and your toys and so on and so forth, that's a new thing for me. The whole anal thing, preparing for that. Because I don't really do it in my personal life, so it's just, you know, it's just interesting. It's fun. I'm kind of routine. I like to wake up, have my cup of coffee, take a shit, go work out, take a shower, go to work. Pretty normal. Like, I'm probably one of the most normal people. Like, I don't know. I shit, shower, and shave.
The 3 S's, you know?
But you know what I mean? I'm just that type of chick. Like, I'm not, like, I don't do anything crazy different, you know?
So kind of just normal, you know, like what normal people do. And it's funny because, like I said, most people think you just show up there and it's, you know, it's like some kind of, you know, fantasy trip, you know? Like, there's unicorns and, you know, all this other, you know, it's kind of like normal gig. So...
I think what people don't realize, it's just like, you know, I would show up to work just like somebody shows up to work at an office. I just so happen to take off my clothes, but still, like people don't supposed to realize, it's not like, you know, anymore. I mean, we're handed a script and we're told how to fuck. It's not like, you know, to meet a friend at a bar or some random person at the bar and you have sex. It's not like that. It's everything's planned out, everything's legal. You know what I mean? I've sometimes a more intimate conversation on the way there with some strangers than I do sometimes on set. I'm kidding. I'm joking around. You know, doing whatever. But
you say the you know, anal that you don't really do in personal life. What's sex life in your personal life?
Sex is with my boyfriend and I. It's nice. It's slow. It's fun. He always he's in it to get me well first. You know, most of the time, you know, sex in porn is more, I think driven by like a men viewer and stuff like that. I mean, we're getting more into like women viewers and things of that nature now, but sex is just different. I don't do it on camera for a reason. I like having some of my life being private. I don't think it's everybody's business what I do, like everywhere. But sex, you know, with him and I, it's great. It's not anything like what I do on camera.
No, is there anything you will not do on camera? Whether because you rather keep it for your personal life or just, you know, just not feeling that idea?
I just don't really have any interest in sticking 2 dicks or 3 dicks in my ass. Just not really interested in that, so you probably won't see me do any of that. I don't have any interest in, like, doing any medical kink or scatting. You know, I don't know. You know, there's just some things, you know, I'm probably, I don't know. You'd have to ask me when it comes up and be like, yay or nay. You know, I might say no.
Have you ever had to turn anything down?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever had to turn anything down?
Yeah, I turn certain suits down because it's just something I'm not into, or I feel like it might water down the, you know, for me to do some of the sites, I might have to water them down so much it wouldn't look like their sites. And I don't think that's fair to that artistic, you know, regardless if I'm into it or not, doesn't mean I should have any right to water it down just to fit my needs. So, I'll just turn things down I don't like. I'm not into like facial abuse. Fucking hate that bullshit. I'm not into that. Wouldn't be into any type of not into racial play. I think it's stupid. There's certain things I just don't like. I think it puts a bad negative to it. Some things, and I realize that I get hired for is fantasy. Like I get paid to create and bring to life a fantasy. It's not real, people. Everybody that shows up on set is getting paid to be there. I think fans forget that. I think people say, like, oh, the dude just shows up and it's fuck, man, it's fucking great. No, that guy would not show up to set and not get paid. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting paid to be there. Let's not forget that. So, that's it.
What is your favorite types of scenes to shoot? Like when you get offered a gig, is there something that like when they offer to you, you're like, fucking yes, like that's really what I want. I love doing that type of stuff.
I think I really had a fun time on my showcase because I got to do, be part of all the creative aspects of it and stuff like that.
And you got to work with amazing talent, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, but
being on the creative side and
be on the creative element and saying what I want done and what I don't want to do, and my vision was really fucking cool. So.
And the cast that you picked for that is fucking amazing. Like every one of those girls, I can scroll through their timelines.
Yeah, they're mind blowing. They're really, really amazing. It was just like, and that's the great thing about working with such strong performers is that I get to learn from their performance and really experience. And like, oh, you are amazing,
And then you get their followers, are being introduced to you who may have not, seen a different side.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It's a win-win. Like just an example, like Katrina Jade. Like I could literally scroll through Katrina Jade's like Twitter right now and be entertained for like the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm sure her fan base is now like, oh, Alexis is dope. Like, let me follow her, and it's just. It's really cool that you're able
that's how it works.
Collaborate.
I guess sometimes and stuff like that. Katrina Jade is so hot. I've been wanting to have sex with her in a while. So when I had that opportunity, she was
you and me both
on my list. I was like, I want her. I want her.
I can see how you gravitate to her because you guys. I feel like you guys have a lot of the like a same kind of attitude towards life. Like she really has a fucks given attitude.
Yeah, and that's what I dig about her. Because she is who she is, and it's unapologetic, but it's not in a bad way. It's just she is who she is, and I think that's great.
Now, what about another fan says? What about celebrity crushes? Do you have celebrity crushes, or are you just not really concerned with that kind of stuff? Or
I don't even watch TV, to be honest, so I'm not like overly concerned with celebrities or celebrity crushes. But the two people I always mention that when I do get asked this question is like. Scarlett Johansson, I think she's fucking hot. And, God, I don't even know. He played American Psycho. Why does his name disappear right now? He has also played Batman.
Oh, okay.
And he played Machine, what's his name? Wales accent?
Yeah,
there you go, Jill. Thanks a lot. Christian Bale.
I was like throwing a blank. I'm like, I know this guy's fucking name.
I know. I'm like picturing him acting, and fucking American Psycho is one of my favorite books, and also movies, along with like A Clockwork Orange. I'm a big reader. I think people should read more.
I love Clockwork Orange. I'm probably like one of the hugest like Kubrick fans you'll ever find. But, like Clockwork. It's funny because every time I mention Clockwork Orange to people. And I'm like, dude, just watch just the first 5 minutes of it. If you ain't freaking the fuck out, then I just don't get it. Just the music and then just the eerie scene, and the milk bar, and I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies, and I really dig that you like that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now, what do you get to do on your free time? I mean, I know you like to travel, and you're like you say, a tomboy, outdoorsy. Do you get a lot of free time, and how do you spend that?
Yeah, I mean, it's free time is I'm always working. I don't always I'm always working, but I do take free time to myself, and it just varies. I mean, my free time is me like not being around a lot of people, just rest and relaxation, go out in nature, do hiking, go to hot springs, paint, take pictures, listen to music.
So what kind of music are you into?
Yeah, I listen to like Hippie Sabotage, Cruiser and Dorfmeister, all those different things. I like trip hop, I guess.
Now, I know a lot of people have a huge presence online, so before you get out of here, where can everybody stalk you at online? Where can everybody, look at your pictures and videos and masturbate to you or smoke and get high looking at you?
If you want to get a flavor of who I am, it's Alexis Fawx. That's Alexis Fawx Live. Alexis, Fawx, That's my Instagram. Twitter, if you want scene updates, that's at Alexis Fawx. And if you want to get a little inside of my private life, you can subscribe to my Snapchat, which is Fox Snaps, or my OnlyFans, which is videos and pictures, which is Fox Fans. Or you can text me, which is SEXTAF. So there's ways to reach me and get all my exclusive content that way. And it's really important because I'll be in Costa Rica living on a farm for about basically a whole month of March. So that'd be a really good time to subscribe to me because I'll be putting up exclusive content there.
That's a nice teaser. I'm excited to see what's going on in Costa Rica. Anything last you want the fans to know before you get out of here?
No, I'm all good. I think it's all good.
No, we summed everything up.
My next show is at El Cid on Sunset in L.A. It's called Highest Sauce. It's a comedy variety show that's cannabis friendly. It's going to be March 31st. It's a Sunday, so there won't be that much traffic. Get your asses out, get off the phones, and come laugh with me. There you go.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and taking some time to talk to us. I mean, it's been something that I've been wanting to have this moment for quite a while. And as a fan of yours, it's a total, I'm going to hang up this, and I'm going to, have to say to myself a million times, I just had Alexis on my fucking podcast. So it's like I said, it's one of those things that I'm probably never going to finally, come to reality that you've been on it. But I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate everything that you've, done with the business and how you just kind of keep, kind of pushing the envelope and doing creative and awesome things. And, we just hope to see more and more things from you, and especially from Costa Rica. So,
Oh, cool.
So just thank you again for coming in and talking to us a little bit.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Have a great evening.
Yeah, you too, hon. Bye. Hi, folks. This is Alexis Fawx, and you're listening to Mix Master B on MMB Radio.